So, if you're doing business in the digital world today, whether you're running a hospital, managing a global financial platform, or, even just handling client data, cybersecurity isn't just a line item anymore.
Oh, not at all. It's a survival strategy.
It's a global economic survival strategy. And today we are diving deep into really the most urgent threat to that strategy, cybercrime. The pressure it puts on every single organization is just, it's
And in
relentless.
that urgency, you really can't overstate it. I mean, we're way past the point of treating these as isolated incidents. Cybercrime is, right now, one of the biggest threats to the entire global digital economy,
And it's accelerating.
exponentially.
Yeah, and we're not talking hypotheticals here. The source material gives us real painful examples. Just look at recent events. We've seen Taiwan hospitals just crippled by ransomware,
Hmm.
patient data frozen, operations grinding to a halt. And then you have major international financial institutions getting hit by these really sophisticated data breaches. These groups are professional, they're organized.
And incredibly well-resourced.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that sophistication is, it's why the old way of defending yourself is breaking down.
So,
Well, organizations are just overloaded with data. They have firewalls, intrusion detection, basic alerts. But what they're missing is intelligence.
okay.
What's fascinating here is that we have to shift the focus. It's not enough to just react to the attack signature,
Yeah.
the digital mess left behind.
Right.
You have to understand the adversary. You need insights into how they think, how they behave, how they operate.
Right.
And you need it before they launch their attack.
And that strategic need really brings us to our mission for this deep dive. Our source material gives us this detailed look at a solution built for exactly this problem: threat vision cybercrime intelligence. So we're going to distill what this is, how it's gathered, and why it provides the kind of foresight that your security teams from the SOC all the way up to the CISO really need to survive out there. Okay, so if we agree the priority is knowing the attacker, the next question is, where do you even start? Let's unpack Threat Vision Cybercrime Intelligence, or CC. What is it at its foundation?
At its core, it's intelligence built to shift your defense from reactive firefighting to proactive anticipation.
Okay.
And what gives it this incredible strength is its origin. It's built on more than 20 years of research by Team T5, with a primary focus on the Asia-Pacific threat landscape.
Let's pause on that for a second. The APAC focus. That sounds very specific. Why should a listener in, say, Europe or North America care about 2 decades of APAC research?
That's a crucial question. The thing is, the APAC region has, well, it's historically been a proving ground for some of the world's most sophisticated threat groups. Many of them stayed aligned.
A testing ground.
Exactly. They pioneer new tactics, techniques, procedures, TTPs, that then get adopted and, frankly, commoditized by cybercrime groups all over the world.
So, by tracking them there, you're essentially seeing the future.
You're seeing the future of global cybercrime before it hits the mainstream. It's a massive head start.
That makes a lot of sense. So, with that kind of understanding, where are they actually getting this information? You can't just browse the normal web for this stuff.
No, you can't. The intelligence is pulled directly from the most hidden places. We're talking the deep and dark web, underground criminal forums, encrypted chat apps like Telegram where these syndicates operate.
The real dark corners.
The real dark corners. And the goal is to monitor all that chatter, all those whispers about planning, coordination, trading stolen data,
Mhm.
and turn it into actionable, reliable intelligence.
So once you pull that raw data from the dark web, how does the platform decide what matters? What are the key focus areas that turn all that noise into something useful?
It boils down to 4 specific categories of insight. First, they track the most recent activities of specific ransomware and hacker groups. Who's active right now, who are they targeting?
Okay.
Second, they monitor data trades and attack discussions on those forums. They're looking for preparatory chatter or signs that stolen data from your industry is up for sale.
And what about the more technical side?
That's the third area, analysis of emerging attack tools, techniques, and targets. This is vital for seeing what's coming next.
Right.
And the fourth, which is so critical, is providing indicators of compromised IOCs, but with context.
Let's define IOCs for the listener.
Sure. They're the digital breadcrumbs an attacker leaves behind. IP addresses, malware hashes, things like that. But without context, they're just noise. This platform gives you the IOC, but it also tells you whose breadcrumb it is, where it leads, and why it should matter to you.
That context piece, that sounds like the real differentiator. But let's face the challenge here. Everybody claims to be monitoring the dark web. If you're already subscribed to a basic threat feed, how does this ensure you aren't just drowning in more noise? Or, even worse, getting bad info? How does it go beyond a generic alert?
That's exactly the right question to ask. Generic feeds, they're all about speed and volume. They just dump a list of hashes and IPs on your team.
And leave the hard work to you.
Right, to your already overstretched security team. This solution is built around 4 pillars of uniqueness to deliver that expert-validated depth.
Okay, let's walk through these 4 pillars. The first one is expert in-depth analysis. What does that actually look like?
It means you get the whole story. Instead of just flagging a piece of malware, the analysis dives into the entire attack chain. Which group is using it? How did they modify it? What infrastructure is supporting it? It stops your team from chasing shadows.
Okay, so it helps you prioritize. And the second pillar, adversary profiling. This sounds like where it gets really strategic.
It is. This is about mapping the entire ecosystem of a ransomware group. Who are their affiliates? How do they recruit? How do they structure payments? What industries do they usually hit?
So you're building a behavioral profile.
A behavioral profile, exactly. So if you know a certain group always pivots from attacking healthcare to finance, you can harden your defenses before they even look your way. It's transformative.
You're moving from just predicting to actually anticipating their behavior.
That's the goal. The third pillar, techniques tracking, flows right from that. It's about following those new tools and methods being discussed in closed forums before they're widely used.
The early warning system.
It's the essential early warning system. It gives you time to patch, to adjust your rules before a new ransomware strain is weaponized against you.
And the fourth pillar is maybe the most important for the C-suite. Intel-supported decisions.
It has to be. This is all about linking the technical intel directly to business risk. When the CISO has to justify a major security investment, this provides the why.
It connects the dots.
It connects the technical threat to the potential impact on revenue, on fines, on operations. It lets leadership prioritize based on the likelihood of a specific adversary targeting their sector.
That depth is amazing, but it's not useful if it's just a sporadic report. The threat landscape moves so fast. How is this intelligence actually delivered to the teams on the ground?
The delivery is very structured, very frequent. There are 5 main types of deliverables to make sure you're always covered.
Okay, let's start with the big picture.
That would be the cybercrime campaigns reports. These are monthly deep dive analyses of the most significant adversary campaigns. You get granular detail on malware execution, the IOCs, all the technical walkthrough.
And then for the faster moving stuff, the day-to-day chatter.
Right. For that, there are 3 types of reports that come out at least 4 times a month. So you're getting a constant stream.
What are they?
You have forum activities, which tracks what's being discussed on the dark web. Then ransomware activities, which specifically monitors who's being hit right now, who's claiming victims.
Like a real-time pulse check.
A pulse check, yeah. And finally, cybercrime news, which gives timely updates on major incidents as they break, but with that added context from underground monitoring.
So that's the broad coverage. But what about my organization specifically? How does it all get tied back to me?
That's the 5th deliverable, the Cybercrime Tailored Report. This is your custom deep analysis. If your company has an incident or a competitor gets mentioned in a leak, this report gives you in-depth, client-specific analysis of that event. It makes sure the intel is always personal and always applicable.
Okay, so we've covered what the intelligence is, its unique foundation, and how it's delivered. Now for the payoff. What does this actually mean for the defense team? How does this foresight translate into wins on the ground?
It means you move from a generic defense to one that's specifically informed, and the intelligence is designed to help different roles.
Let's start on the front lines. The teams feeling the most heat, the SOC and incident response teams.
For them, it's about speed and context. They get faster, highly contextualized IOCs. They know instantly if an alert is just commodity malware or, a targeted move by a major adversary.
So it cuts down the noise.
It dramatically reduces analysis time and leads to a much faster, smarter response.
What about the threat hunters, the people trying to find the attackers already hiding in the network?
This empowers them. Instead of just staring at logs hoping to find a pattern, they can use the adversary profiles to do hypothesis-driven hunting.
Yeah.
They know what to look for and why, which turns them from investigators into proactive defenders.
And moving up the chain, what about risk and compliance teams?
They can finally integrate real threat trends into their risk models. They stop just ticking boxes for yesterday's compliance rules and start building resilience against the specific threats that are likely to cause them harm tomorrow.
So they're managing actual risk, not just paperwork.
Exactly.
And finally, the CISOs and the executives, what's in it for them?
They get the insights they need to guide strategy and allocate resources. They can justify investments because they understand the specific business risk from a particular ransomware group targeting them. It's about making smart, validated decisions.
So this is really about building long-term resilience across different industries. The sources gave some clear examples of this.
Absolutely. Think about healthcare. With this intel, they can preempt ransomware attacks. If they know a group is shifting its focus from patient records to billing systems, they can isolate those systems before the attack even launches.
And in finance, which is always a huge target.
For finance, they can track underground sales of compromised credentials or customer data. That lets them block breaches or invalidate those credentials early, long before there's a major financial loss.
What about the public sector, government organizations?
For them, it's critical. They can monitor forums for early signs of nation-state activity. A lot of these campaigns start by outsourcing the initial access to cybercriminal proxies. Seeing that early chatter is a huge advantage.
And for just general enterprises, what's the core benefit?
It's foundational knowledge. They can truly understand current ransomware tactics, the latest exploits, the newest tools, and that feeds directly into proactive defense patching, hardening systems. It's about getting ahead of the curve instead of constantly playing catch-up.
This has been a really deep exploration of what modern cyber defense actually needs. We started with this crisis, the relentless acceleration of cybercrime, and we've landed on a solution that's all about anticipating what the adversary will do, not just reacting after they've already done it.
And the synthesis is really clear. Sophisticated threats demand contextualized intelligence. By systematically validating info from the dark web, this intelligence connects those highly technical details about an adversary directly to business risk and strategic decisions.
Yeah.
It makes the threat tangible.
Manageable.
Manageable, yes, for everyone, including leadership.
So here's a final provocative thought for you to consider based on everything we've talked about. If experts estimate that organizations only see the 1% of the threat landscape that actually breaks through their defenses, the stuff they get alerts on, then what vital strategic information are they missing? What critical advantage hiding right now in some underground forum or encrypted Telegram channel could prevent the next catastrophic data breach and fundamentally change their security for good? That is the difference between simply defending and achieving true foresight. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.